All right, I'll show you the latest of my latest project. This is the Fender from the Silverado that I bought. Looks like we're going to try to flip that. I don't know if we'll make any money on it, but my son's not interested in keeping it as a driver. So this Fender is a little banged up, creased up. I was going to try to pound it out and Bondo it, patch the rust, and slap the cover back on. But we came across this Fender and a hood for a donor. And this Fender, it's rusted as well underneath here. It's probably not too good under here, but right here is pretty much gone on the inside. The outside's not bad. I haven't taken the flare off yet, but I'm going to use this as like a donor piece for what's rusted away on the other one. And hopefully I can combine it to make one decent Fender. I'm going to have to repaint it anyways, and we'll go from there. So with the flare off now, you can really see what's left of this Fender, which is a big chunk of it missing right there, right? And you come over to this Fender, and oh, what a surprise. That chunk is in really good shape, and the rust is up there. So, I don't know, maybe different parts of this state have different rust belts. I don't know. But I'm thinking, you know, I just cut this off and tack it back on, and take that donor piece and tack it together, and cover the seam up with a little Bondo. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna care? And that's more the point. I think you'll always be able to tell my work, but you could spot it. I mean, we'll see. So I got the donor Fender, or the original Fender, all banged up. Not the donor. This is the original. But I'm going to use it as a donor because I want to keep this portion of it. So I'm just going to cut away whatever I can. Probably overcut, you know, we can always make it smaller, can't make it bigger. And see what happens. Tell you, you can't really smell it from there, but the burning metal smell is incredible. So that's the outer shell, but this thing is all reinforced in the back. There's probably like 5 pieces to put this Fender together, at least, you know, in the assembly factory, or if I have robots doing it. But I'm wondering, just keep cutting, straight line, take the whole piece off. Now I'm looking at it, that might be the way to put it back together too. Probably the easiest, smartest thing to do. Just put it back together, same way I took it apart. I was going to try to piece it, you know, save all this on the other one. Why not just reuse it? What the heck's the difference? Might be time to change blades already. Wow. Yeah, all that's left is this piece here and there. And the blade is so tiny now that the guard's getting in the way. I think I could probably get this piece here. Let me go get a fresh wheel. So there's the donor piece. Now I want you to look inside of there. This is what happens in New England, why the vehicles don't last up here. You know, look at that. I'm pulling out leaves and pine needles and, you know, dirt. It's just, you know, you could farm in there. And there's a little surface rust. And, you know, within another year or two, that'd be completely gone. Now what I'll do is throw some of that rust mort stuff I have, or Cora-Seal or something in here with a brush, just to kill that. And I'm going to weld this back together with the other piece. And the tricky part will be getting it in the exact right place. So, you know, that'll be another video when I try to put it back together. So now that I got a donor piece, I got to cut away all the cancer on this piece. And the trick is to put the new piece in the exact right spot. So I'm thinking I should build some kind of jig so that maybe this hole and this hole line up with something that when I put the new piece on, it'll fall right into the right place. So I got to think that over for a minute. And now that I got the rust all cut away, here's the tricky part. So there's the old body line right there. And here's the body line here. So obviously I got to probably trim away some of this and some of this to get them to match. And even if I get those two lines to match, you know, where does this fall in this angle? Well, I left this little tail piece here. I'm going to try to line it up with this piece here. When those guys line up, it should be in the right place, and I could weld it, you know, just tack, 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 tack all around it. It's like a box. So if I can get that welded in place, it's practically a new fender. I'll just sand it down, prime it, put it back on the truck. Easy peasy. So right after I just finished videotaping that last sequence, this fender fell right off of this stand and took out the light stand over here. But dented it. I won't say it dented itself, but there's a dent right here now. But I'm pretty sure I can pop that out with the hammer. But it just doesn't get easier. I'm pretty sure this scratch wasn't there before. But, you know, I'm going to paint this thing anyway, so I got to sand it out and buff it out. But it just doesn't get any easier. It's crazy. So there's the patch piece clamped kind of in place. I come around. Now remember I left that tail underneath. That's the reference line. Let me see if I can see it from this side. Yeah, see it's right there lined up perfectly. So I know that this is kind of in the right place. And, you know, there's probably some big gaps in here. But, you know, just fill them in. Who's going to see it? Behind the thing. So the money shot, or the money weld, is this here. That's the body line. Then across here, the inner wheel well. You can, you know, technically see that, but, you know. And then the when you go to line it up, if this hole lines where it's supposed to on the truck, and this hole hits where it's supposed to on the truck, everything else should be in place. So I'm going to put a couple tacks on it, I think. I think that's the next move. Well, there it is, welded into place, excuse me, tacked into place, because I still got to, with the tack, test fit it. And you know, the money shot was really going to be, this seam here has got to line up with the door. You know, if this is cocked in this way, the door won't close. If it's cocked out that way, you're going to have a big wide gap at the bottom. So I really got to test it on the door itself, or on the truck itself with the door, to see if it's right. Now, it's getting dark out. It's a crappy day out. So hopefully if it's sunny tomorrow, I'll put it on the truck and see how it looks. But that's where I'm going to end it for today. And as always, thanks for watching. And we'll see what happens next. And take a look at the 47. Does it look good?